Hi, this is Tanya from Love Buddha Tarot here with the energies for this new Aquarius full moon tonight. Very important one as well. We did have one a month ago, so this is kind of the roundup of it. So I'm going to wait for some people to come on and then see what we've got here. Hey, Chloe. Hey, Angelica. Paul. Yay, people are here. I don't know what time it is where you are. It's 10 to 11 this morning, and I woke up and it was like, right, okay, and this is it. We've got to go in. So apologies, I didn't do the Leo moon. It literally kicked shit out of me. I had to spend 2 days in bed with it, and I did try to do the Aquarius moon the week before that, 2 weeks before that, and the computer I couldn't get the signal. So seems like everybody can see me here and they can hear me and the picture's all right and everything like that. Great. Absolutely great. Right. So this Aquarius moon tonight. Now, I've heard a lot of people saying how good it is, and I do believe it's good, but there's always a but. It's good if you're going in the right direction. If you're not going in the right direction, it is going to be tougher. If you're not in the right environment, it's going to be tougher. You're going to get a lot of these irritations. Now, when I'm just tuning in there, what they're showing me is Aquarius is very free thinking, okay? It's about freedom. It's about thinking outside of the box. And it's almost like a teenager I'm getting here, where it's like, I don't want to be told what to do. I want my freedom. I don't want to be restricted with rules and regulations. Now, obviously, within the world, there are rules and regulations, and those that are anti-authority and things like that. I mean, I'm not anti-authority. I'm just anti-ridiculousness. So, if something doesn't make sense, then it's like, that's when I will question, it's not that I just break rules for the hell of it. It's, I'll abide by rules that make sense. Rules that don't make sense, then, that's where you kind of kick up a fuss. So this is very much this energy here. Almost, I'm getting in my head there, the song they're giving me is I Want to Break Free. Okay. Now, I'm going to go in with what spirit... are you still there? Sorry, I thought I'd gone off there. I'm going to go in with what spirit have been giving me first, and then I will go into the readings and see, answer any questions or whatever. So this full moon tonight is saying to us, we've got to claim our rightful place in the world. Okay. Where are we hiding parts of ourselves now? This could be, that everybody sees us as nice and kind and gentle. So that's the face we put onto the world. But what that does is limit us, because it doesn't matter how nice anybody is. When they get pushed to a limit, then, you poke a dog that many times and it will bite. So what this is saying is, what parts of yourself are you not owning? What parts of yourself are you hiding from yourself, and are you hiding from others as well? Because when we are hiding things from others and hiding things from ourselves, we are limiting ourselves. Okay, we're putting ourselves in this box and we're going, this is how we're going to be, and this is who I am. Where there is all different facets of us, and we are every single one. Some of them we might not like as much, but we've still got to own them, because that is who we are. So this Aquarius moon, I feel, is asking us to go more inward. Okay, there's no blame game with this. I've been looking a lot into the astrology lately, and astrology is what guides me. And within evolutionary astrology, there is no victimhood. Okay, there is no victimhood. Whatever happens to us is part of our path, part of our soul development, part of our soul evolution. But if we stick in that victimhood of, oh, well, this happened to me, then we can become stuck, rather than going, this happened for me, or this happened. Okay, take the me out of it. How do I actually navigate that? Because I know that some of the things in my life that I have, people would deem bad or whatever, have all led me to different things, and they've all uncovered a part of myself that was hidden before that. So this is what it's asking you to look at, this this Aquarius moon, to really go inward and see, you know, our outer environment, okay, will be showing us. If it's uncomfortable, it's showing us something about us. Okay, so rather than pointing the finger, there's three pointing back at us at all times. This is where we've got to go. And what this is wanting us to cry out for and to fight for is our liberation and our freedom. You know, it gets really, really fucking boring trying to pretend that you're somebody you're not. You know, I mean, we get it, you know, within the world, we get it within the spiritual community, we get it within all that, you know, and it's all this bullshit, like dressed up in stuff, you know, and I've said it before, this love and light shit, it doesn't work. We cannot have spirituality without our shadows. We cannot just bypass what is happening in the world and say, yes, okay, I'm going to, you know, it's all love and light. No, it's not. There's some really, really shit stuff happening in the world at this moment. And unless we start to see that, we are not looking at the truth. And, you know, there's shit stuff going on inside of us as well. And we've got to look at that. So what this is saying, and what this moon is saying to us, is our dreams for our future, or the future we would like to inhabit, at this moment in time are rooted in what we have known in the past, or the limits we have learned in the past. Okay, our past condition. I was working with my coach the other day, and he really triggers people, and he's great. I absolutely love him. A guy called Zion, and he talked about PTSD. Now, I'm not in any way, you know, lightening what happens to people or whatever. I'm not, you know, it's like I say, I have very, very deep compassion for that. However, oh, sorry, somebody playing music here. It's getting really, really frustrating around here at the moment. So I'm off. I'm actually, after I've done this video, I'm booking flights. Right, I don't know what this is. So where was I? So sorry about this. I don't even know where that's coming from. So where was I? I've completely lost that. Right. So sorry about this. So yeah, the dreams, that's what I was talking about. You know, they're based on our past rather than, you know, our future, how we want our future to be. So this is where we've got to open our mind. The PTSD, thank you. Yeah, this is how we've got to open our mind, you know, to be able to see that there are things that are unknown there, that we might be limiting ourselves by keeping the dreams that are limited from our past experience. So as I was saying, my coach was talking about PTSD, and, you know, I hold deep compassion for anybody that has that. I've suffered it myself, you know. So like I say, this is in no way getting a dig at anybody. But what he turned around and said, that PTSD is patterns, trauma, stories, and then drama. Now, we develop patterns because of our environment when we're young. Okay, this is it. It all goes back to our conditioning, what we actually then think we deserve, what we accept from other people, and what we think is acceptable when sometimes it's not. So there's the patterns. The trauma, this is what develops from actually inhabiting them environments, or, you know, by seeing them patterns passed down generationally. Then we have the stories. It then becomes our story. Okay, so we've got the patterns, we've got the trauma. It then becomes our story. Now, once it becomes our story, and this is the story that we live in, this is where the drama happens, because, you know, we start with the stories. All right, well, this always happens to me. You know, this always happens to me. You see, I can't trust anybody because I couldn't trust people in the past. So what we then start to do is we try to make this story a reality, rather than, hold on, this is how it's been. I'm going to change it, claim my power back, and I'm going to make my story different. I'm going to rewrite my story. Does that make sense? You know, so like I say, it's not dismissing what has happened, but it's saying how we can sometimes feed into that, and that then becomes part of our story that we don't actually break away from. So this also limits our dreams. It limits where we go. It's like, oh yeah, I really want to do this, but that could never happen to me. Things like that don't happen to me. I was like I say, I was talking to my coach, and I was like, I was talking about something good that had happened, and I said, but this terrified me straight away. I wanted to stand back because, it was like, and he said, why? And I said, because this doesn't happen to me. I'm from the northeast of England. And he said, there you go. Straight away, you are living in that old story of you stay here, otherwise you're ostracized or whatever. Now, when we are ostracized, when we were part of a tribe, if we were sent away from the tribe, we probably were going to die. So this is why we don't like that rejection. And what we do is we try and cling to whatever to feel validated or to feel part of something, when that can actually be the thing that is keeping us stuck and stopping us from our own expansion. So, like I say, they've got a lot to say about this. So they're asking us what actually stands in the way between you now and the life that you want to live, not somebody else's life. Okay, not what somebody has told you should live, not what you've seen somebody else living on Instagram, something like that. What do you truly want? How many times do you go internal and go, what does my life look like if it was perfect? If I could just change it and have every solitary thing that I want, what is it I want? And where am I limiting myself with that? Because we are creators all the time, and we are creating our story. We're creating our future, so we can't create a different future with the same old story that we have been living in or hiding behind or feel that we're stuck in. Does this make sense? So this is saying, this moon, how big do you allow yourself to dream? I always say to people, I send them on a nighttime, if I'm talking to somebody and it's on WhatsApp or whatever, it's like, dream big, and this is it. How big can you do it? Because if you didn't experience anything more, you are still limited within your vision. So this is a time for us to be curious. Thank you, Louisa. Thank you for that. To be curious, to get out there, to step into the unknown. Now, yes, people are saying we're living in uncertain times. We are. But I got a thought this week, and it's, we are always in uncertain times. Always. We never know what is going to happen from one day to the next. Yes, we've got the media blaring down at us at this moment. And I will read you something in a second that I posted on social media today, which was absolutely beautiful. But yeah, so we have this media, telling us as well how bad everything is and how uncertain it is. But our lives are always uncertain. We get up on a morning and we don't know what is going to happen, but somehow we think the unknown is something to be scared of. Well, how many times has something happened out of the blue to you and you've been like, whoa, that was amazing. I'd never expected that. So this is what we've got to do. We've got to look into the unknown with curiosity and excitement. Look at what's happening in Afghanistan, whatever. That has been happening for years. These people have been living in this apocalyptic thing for years, but we don't see it because we live in our little comfort zone. And this moon is telling us, it's highlighting where we need to step out of our comfort zone, where we need to do that, because the reason being, this is the age of Aquarius and this is the Aquarian moon. And all of us have a unique mission on this earth, okay? Every single one of us. And our unique mission will become apparent when we start to be fully ourselves. We don't do anything good for the work or do the world any favors by holding ourselves back. Like I say, within astrology, there's no victimhood. There's just evolution. And this is a time of revolution. And you know what? The greatest act of rebellion at this moment in time is to be in your truth, to stand up and say, this is who I am. If you don't like it, great. If you do like it, great. It's not about anybody else. We've got to live in our truth so that we can actually help change humanity, because humanity is all hidden with this bloody mask where nobody really knows who they are. Nobody's thoughts are real. Is this your thought, or is this Is this being tainted by something you've seen on the media or a conversation that you've had? Remember as well, we're getting into Virgo season, and Virgo is meticulous. It wants everything in order. So this is asking us, this moon, to stand up for our beliefs, but to make sure that they are ours. Okay, this is not a time to, yeah, well, my mom used to tell me to do this, or, my friend says that this is my best course of action, or this one says that. It's no. What do you feel? You go inward and you see, where are these blocks? Ask yourself today, write down 5 things where you are blocking yourself. 5 things that you're not happy with in your life, and then start to see, where am I causing these blocks? What is between me, my pain, the problem, and, the solution? What is in between there? And it will be us. And this is why this moon is asking us to get out of our own way with this. So there's going to be a lot of truth shown over this moon, okay? Truth shown to ourselves, a lot of mirrors on us, and a lot of truth seen in the world. I believe that we will expect to see almost some whistleblowers or something over the next couple of weeks, okay? Something is going to come to light that has been hidden, okay? Because like I say, this is the time of rebellion. So the truth is going to be shown, but it will be shown in good ways and in bad ways. It will be unexpected. This is a time where we can not just, we've got to expect the unexpected, because anything could happen. Now I'm, like I say, I'm booking, I'm going traveling again, and I'm like, I don't know, is this going to be easy? I don't know. But I know, I'm feeling it, that, right, okay, it's time to move on now. And I'm going big loop. It's like quite bizarre. But this is it. It's that feeling. It's like, right, am I free where I am? No, I'm not. I'm restricted. When I have restrictions, what do? I go to somewhere where I'm free. Because this is it. I don't want to be tied down by anything. I have fought all my life for this freedom, this freedom to be me. And now I am not going to have that taken away. So this is a time, I feel, revolution, rebellion, but peaceful rebellion. This is it. All we've got to do is stand up and go, no, I'm not doing that. I appreciate what you think, but yeah, this is where I'm at. So I like this moon. I really do, but it's going to trigger us in some way. But we can never underestimate the power of a good trigger. Triggers are there to support us. They're there to push us out of our comfort zone in order so we can grow and evolve. Okay, so anything that's bad, that is getting on our goat at the moment, that is really, like irritating us, it's like, right, okay, what is this saying about me? If you have an itchy jumper on, you take that jumper off, you don't wear it again. So this is what's going to happen. Kind of sensitivity, they're saying. Right, okay, that doesn't work in the sentence, so why are you giving me that? Yes, we're going to be more sensitive, right? Okay, we're going to be more sensitive. But take notice of our sensitivity, right? Okay, that's what they're saying there. So we're going to be more sensitive over the next couple of weeks. But we've got to take notice of that sensitivity, really, really get into our feelings. Where am I feeling irritation? Where am I feeling pain? Where am I feeling anger? Where am I feeling whatever emotion is there? Locate it within the body, okay? Dig deep into it and go, right, I'm going to dissect this. I'm going to actually see what this is there, what this is telling me, okay? Because sensitivity, they're saying, is just our senses alerting us to something. They're doing their job. So never complain about being too sensitive. Never, ever complain about that. That is who you are. But allow them senses rather than dull them. A lot of people would dull them with TV. We dull them with alcohol. We dull them with sex. We dull them with, social media, whatever. We try and push that away so that we feel kind of normal, or we feel, right, okay, I'm doing what everybody else is doing. But that is the problem. If everybody else is doing what everybody else is doing, then we're like lemons. And that's not how we should be. So this is saying, really take notice of your senses. Okay, now this is sight, smell, touch, feel. All of these. Really take note on them. Take notice of your dreams as well, because your dreams will be giving you a lot of answers. And the thing is, we need to understand that we are in different times now. We really are. We cannot go back. And the way where we were comfortable was we knew how to live life. We knew how life worked then. It was like, yeah,